What makes a great pair of glasses? At Warby Parker, it's all the invisible extras without the extra cost. Their designer quality frames start at $95, including prescription lenses, plus scratch-resistant, smudge-resistant, and anti-reflective coatings, and UV protection, and free adjustments for life. To find your next pair of glasses, sunglasses, or contact lenses, or to find the Warby Parker store nearest you, head over to warbyparker.com. That's warbyparker.com.
With so many options, why choose Arizona State University?
For me, the only online option was ASU because of the quality. Their faculty was really involved with their students and care about your personal journey. The dedication to my personal development from my professors, that's been extremely valuable to me.
Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 350 plus undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
I just got fired without warning. I found out because I couldn't log on to Slack or Outlook. So that was really fun. I don't know who needs to hear this, but your boss is not your friend, ever, and you're not safe at your job. So you should cultivate backup options at all times, because capitalism sucks, and you're not safe, unfortunately. And I'm gonna be fine, but a lot of people in my position wouldn't be fine. So I just want this to be a warning to whoever's out there and is getting cozy at their job. Don't.
Well, I just want to say thanks a lot, MAGA. You guys did get me fired from my job. I was an engineer for 12 years. So for the first time in 12 years, I have to get back into the job field. So much for freedom of speech, huh, guys? Crazy, unbelievable.
Welcome, my friends, to the Tuesday edition of Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. Fastest hour in American media. Two voices from what is turning out to be a cascade, a waterfall of people that are losing their jobs because of things that they felt free to post on social media. For the record, I don't mock people that lose their jobs. I want to say that up front. In my own life, losing jobs, the few times that it's happened, very traumatic experiences, and I don't, of course, I didn't go on social media. There was no social media back at the time, and start ranting, wishing people horrible things, gloating about assassinations. That's something that, until recently, most people in this country that grew up at a certain time would never think that this would happen, because people were too decent. There was a decency throughout the country that people would not do those kind of things. But even still, I'm not going to mock people that lose their jobs. I hope they find work, and I hope that in some cases they reflect on what has led them into that position. But there is almost half the stories that I have in today's presentation concern speech in one way or another. Pam Bondi made some remarks saying that she will target hate speech right away. The critics pounced on Pam Bondi. You know, which some of you may agree with this and some of you not. Some of you in the conservative movement, some of my fellow conservatives might think I've lost my mind when I say this. Pam Bondi takes a lot of heat that I notice other attorney generals did not take from within their party. No matter what Eric Holder did, you would never find Democrats running to the press, whining about Eric Holder. They wouldn't do it. And he did a lot of things that deserved scrutiny and never got it. Back when Janet El Reno was Bill Clinton's AG, even with all the Waco stuff and everything else, she did take a little heat from John Conyers, but that was about it. But with that exception, Janet El Reno, you didn't see Democrats, as soon as Janet El Reno said something, marching and whining and moaning. Those are the two biggest names that Clinton AG, and of course there were others, and the wingman for Obama, Eric Holder. But Pam Bondi, she opens her mouth sometimes and boom, here come not the liberals, but some of the people in her own party that just start to immediately denounce her for what she's saying. Some of them seem to be, if I'm reading in between the lines correctly, and I may or may not be, insinuating that, well, I'm not even going to finish that thought. It's not clear under what authority Miss Bondi planned to bring hate speech cases when the First Amendment provides sweeping protections for free speech. Well, then what is hate speech? What are hate crimes? This was the argument that was waged in this country when Democrats were demanding that criminal activity be consigned special enhancements because of hatred. And many of us back then argued with the premise. How are you going to determine if someone hates what's inside? Well, you can do it by their words, by what they've said, was the answer. So if they say something, let's say, that is homophobic, that is racist, while they're committing the crime, then that's a hate crime. It's based on speech. It's not based on the actual delivery of the crime itself. It's, in other words, it's not based on, let's say you had a stabbing. It's not based on the act of stabbing. You can't establish that one stabbing has hate in the stabbing and the other stabbing. They're both stabbings. That's it. What determines whether it's hate is what the person's intention was. And the intention is established by what they have said. Things they have said. I'm using a little Letitia. We got Letitia soundbite today. Letitia was on with Joy Reid. We didn't even bother putting the Joy Reid side of it because it's inconsequential. Letitia's moaning and groaning about the mortgage fraud. Anyway. Oh, hey, did you know, Carlos, our Fanny's in the news. We haven't played the Fanny stuff in a long time. I don't even know whether we'll get to it. But she's only in the news because the courts decided we've had enough. So we'll just keep that on standby. If we can get to Fanny, Fanny is in the news. We do have our Fanny song. Okay, good. I may just get to the story just so I can hear the song. But anyway, Pam Bondi has now clarified what she said earlier, which should please everyone. Hate speech that crosses the line into threats of violence is not protected by the First Amendment. It's a crime, she wrote lengthy post on X. For far too long, we've watched the radical left normalize threats, call for assassinations, and cheer on political violence. That era is over, she continued, citing U.S. Code. There's free speech, and then there's hate speech. And there's no place, especially now, especially what happened to Charlie in our society, she had published on Monday. We're actually going to go after you if you're targeting anyone with hate speech. The American Civil Liberties Group vehemently denied her claims. There's no hate speech exception in the First Amendment. They said, that's funny. You guys didn't want to talk about that. Has there ever been a loving stabbing? No. Great point. You guys didn't want to talk about all that when we were talking about hate crimes and hate laws. And then, of course, there are conservatives that are. Ron Dreher, conservative Substack author, said Bondi should either retract or resign. And then Eric Erickson. Eric is a friend of mine. I love Eric. Eric, I disagree with you wholeheartedly on this. Our attorney general is apparently a moron, she said. There's free speech and then there's a hate speech. He wrote in a post on Monday. Unless I have something out of context here, which I'm going to allow for the possibility for. And this is what I was saying. I believed there are a lot of people implying that Pam Bondi's not the brightest bulb in the joint. Look, I think Pam Bondi folks, we just came through 4 years of Joe Biden and what he had done to the DOJ. Are you seriously complaining about Pam Bondi? Are you really? Are you really? After what we have been through with the last administration and what didn't happen in terms of stopping any of it, are you seriously complaining about Pam Bondi? All right, we're going to take a break now because I have to get to the Kash Patel stuff. And Chuck Grassley had a comment today that should be on the front page of every newspaper. I doubt it will be in many of the mainstream publications at all, but it should be on the front page. Snerdley, when we get back, we've got some things you've got to hear, folks. So whatever you do, stay right there.
The Rush Hour with James Golden on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Rush Hour with James Golden, entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, a word from Letitia. Letitia is in the house, I think. Letitia.
Donald Trump said that he wanted, he said that he called me all kind of names, and he basically directed the Department of Justice to investigate my affairs, and they're using mortgage fraud as the vehicle upon which they're investigating myself, Adam Schiff, Miss Cook, Lisa Cook, and countless others. And it is, most of it, as you know, is frivolous, it's baseless, because in order to prove mortgage fraud, one has to prove intent. And that's a very high standard, a very high bar to meet.
Yes. Isn't it interesting how many of you Democrats are engaged in shenanigans with your mortgages? Letitia, just saying now.
My message is simple. No matter how powerful you are, no matter how much money you think you may have, no one is above the law. And it is my responsibility and my duty and my job to enforce it.
Wow, nice one, Carlos. All right, we have to get to these. Quick. This has to be the highlight clip of the day. Well, one of them. It is Kash Patel, Judiciary Committee with Adam Schiff. Cut number 5. Kash Patel, Adam Schiff.
The American people to believe that? Do you think they're stupid?
No. I think the American people believe the truth, that I'm not in the weeds on the everyday movements of inmates.
Not in the weeds?
What I am doing is protecting this country, providing historic reform, and combating the weaponization of intelligence by the likes of you. And we have countlessly proven you to be a liar in Russiagate, in January 6th. You are the biggest fraud to ever sit in the United States Senate. You are a disgrace to this institution and an utter coward.
I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised that you continue to lie from your perch and put on a show so you can go raise money for your charade. You are a political buffoon at best.
Well, you can take an internet troll.
Take it to the bank that the FBI is protecting this country and the state and citizens of California. We are bringing historic reform. Point of order. But all you care about is a child sex predator that was prosecuted by a prior administration, and the Obama Justice Department and the Biden Justice Department did squat. And what did President Trump do? Bring new charges courageously. And what have we done?
Chairman,
you said I'm the most transparent FBI director in history. 33,000 pages of information to you. I challenge you to say anything credibly to the truth. Go ahead and run to the cameras where you want to go now.
Be quiet.
In the mix of all of that, Adam Schiff is told he is a buffoon. He's probably one of the biggest frauds that has ever sat in the United States Senate. My friends, this is not the way that Senate hearings are supposed to go. The people that are being lambasted are supposed to be deferential while the U.S. senators take them apart. They're not supposed to actually challenge these people the way most of us want to challenge them because we know their track records. Kash Patel has nailed this. Countess of Conspiracy is checking us out today. She's getting ready to she's going over to where? Countess of Conspiracy and Mr. Bond are going to Athens. They're going in your neck of the woods. They're going to your neck of the woods, Carlos. There must be something going on over there. They're investigating. We'll have to get a report from them when they get back. Anyway, there's more Kash Patel. Cory Booker was also had his turn. And that was kind of, well, humorous. Mazie Hirono from Hawaii. It's just, that one's just tragic. I feel sad. I feel sorry for the people of Hawaii every time I hear her speak. But anyway, we'll be back. There's more. So whatever you do, keep it right here and do not go away.
The Rush Hour with James Golden on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Anyway, let us get back, my friends, to this. What's that now? Thank you, Carlos. You saved me so many times. We have to give a congratulations to her. And our local flagship, stellar, 50,000 watts blowtorch, WABC in New York, they were running a contest while the rest of you in the country didn't hear, and we had a winner on that contest, Mr. David Dickin. He just won 2 tickets for Eagle Mania, October 4th at 8 p.m. at the Bergen Pack. That's in beautiful Inglewood, New Jersey. He just told the screener that he loves this show, by the way, so thank you, David, and congratulations to you. Thank you, Carlos, for not letting me forget to thank him and to mention that. Okay, let's get back to Kash Patel. You already heard the takedown of Adam Schiff. Rhonda sent me a text, America's Small Caffeinated Mom, Rhonda Schrock sent me a text that Kash Patel segment with Adam Schiff, they call that, in the heartland, they call that walking into a wood chipper. Well, he's not the only one that walked into the wood chipper. There's Cory Booker. And Cory Booker, I mean, he gives you the whole, the facial expressions, the whole drama. Every time I see him, Mr. Spartacus, it's like a drama presentation. So this was Kash Patel with Cory Booker. The questions had finished. Cory Booker had accused him of all sorts of stuff. And now they gave Kash time to answer. So Kash was starting to answer. Cory couldn't stand it. His time was already expired. He had to jump back in with more drama. Anyway, this is the drama of Spartacus, Cory Booker, when he meets Kash Patel at today's hearing in the Judiciary Committee.
You, do you want to say anything?
Yes, sir. That rant of false information does not bring this country together. If you want to work on bringing this country, it's my time, not yours.
My God.
If you want to talk about
dividing this country,
it is my time.
I follow you on your social media posts that tear this country apart.
To address your falsehoods.
You can try all you want
in this country.
to not take responsibility
my time.
for what you have
your
said.
time.
Sir, you're
your
making a mockery of this committee. Sir, you don't tell me my time is over.
You
the
know
people
how far
of
we've
Jersey
come
tell me
since
what my
you
time is.
Senator,
You can't lecture me.
You can tell me my time's over?
You may be the target of
I'm
the
not
FBI,
going anywhere.
but I am not afraid of you,
Mr.
sir.
Chairman.
Not afraid of you.
Mr. Chairman, point of order.
Senator Booker, I announced at the beginning of this meeting that this back and forth, talking over each other, doesn't work. And I said if that happened, I asked Patel not to respond, and I was going to give him some time after the senator's time was up to respond. And that's he has the privilege to do that uninterrupted.
Mr.
So
Chairman, one point of
order.
order.
Go ahead, Mr.
I've
Patel.
watched him talk over us, and you've never once criticized him for us not even being able to get our questions out.
Well,
he has been rude and disrespectful to senator after senator.
And when the senators were not giving him a chance to answer, I didn't stop the senator either. Go ahead, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If the FBI, under my 7-month leadership, were failing this administration in this country, why do we have 23,000 violent felons arrested this year alone? A double increase from that time last year. Why is it that we have seized 6,000 weapons? Why have we found 1,500 child predators and arrested them? Why have we 300 human traffickers in jail? Why have we found and identified 4,700 children? Why have we seized 1,600 kilograms of fentanyl, enough to kill a third of the American public, a 25% increase alone from last year? 88,000 kilograms of cocaine seized, 7,000 kilograms of meth seized, and that's just on our criminal operations in summer heat. How is it possible that we are taking 8 kilograms off the streets of the cities in New Jersey and preventing the deaths of 607,000 people this year alone, a failure of the FBI and my leadership? How is it that we have counterintelligence arrests already this year exceeding the numbers from the entirety of last year? 33% increase in PRC, 83% in Russia, 60% in the CI space as it relates to Iran, and we haven't even talked about CT, the southern border, the northern border.
Before Senator Cruz, I kind of feel like...
Boom, boom, boom. Now, again, the poor people of Hawaii have sent this woman. I don't understand how I just don't. But she's in the Senate, so Senator Mazie Hirono with Kash Patel. We will not listen to the entire exchange. I can't bear it. But you'll just get the hint of how she used her time with the FBI director from this.
Come on.
You've been asked some questions about changes to your hiring standard, including college degrees and possibly the age. But, one question I had is...
Yes?
That you are now requiring applicants to be able to do a certain kind of pull-ups, which a lot of women cannot because of physiological differences. Are you requiring these kinds of pull-ups?
We are requiring a physical program at BFTC at Quantico because FBI agents carrying guns in the field have to chase down bad guys and do really hard work. The physical fitness standards of those agents are
you requiring these kinds of pull-ups?
We are requiring everybody to pass the 1811 standards at BFTC. If you want to chase down a bad guy and put him in handcuffs, you better be able to do a pull-up.
The reason I ask is that there are concerns about whether or not being able to do these kinds of harsh pull-ups is really required of FBI agents.
Stop. We've heard enough. Wait. Are you requiring people to do pull-ups, FBI agents? Because, women, physiologically, we're requiring them to be physically fit. They got to go chase bad guys. Sometimes they have to pull the bad guy down. They got to put him in cuffs. They got to do something. Yeah, we have a physical fitness thing. I'm sorry. Are you making them do harsh pull-ups? Harsh pull-ups? I didn't know until this moment that pull-ups that there are pull-ups and then there are different kind of pull-ups. There are harsh pull-ups. Carlos, have you ever done a harsh pull-up? Not the regular pull-up, a harsh one.
I'm not sure what you're referring to.
It's the harsh pull-up that women have problems doing. The harsh ones.
Probably not.
Would you be afraid to do a harsh? TJ, have you ever done a harsh pull-up? The ones that women are not, that have problems with?
Not all pull-ups are harsh.
You said all pull-ups were harsh, non-discriminatory. So, but no. Okay. Anyway, that's what Hawaii sends to the U.S. Senate, folks. Doesn't want the FBI agents to have to pass and do pull-ups because the women, it's too hard for the women to apparently do pull-ups, even though they're FBI agents. You might want to start recruiting then maybe in the WNBA, just because... No, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, excuse me. Never mind. Okay. Now, Kash Patel, let's get to... There were questions raised about Charlie Kirk in this hearing. Let's play 2 and 3 back-to-back. And then very quickly, we're going to have to move to some other things. I got to get this thing with Chuck Grassley in here. So, here you go.
Sure. Reports have suggested that the FBI is investigating a broader network of groups that may have had some knowledge of the shooter's plans. Can you give us any details on that, following up what you already said in public? How's the FBI working to find other potential accomplices, folks who may have known about the shooter's plans, folks who may have encouraged him? Any update on any of that?
So in terms of what we do for an interrogation perspective, we go and reach out to the family and community immediately. And we've conducted those investigations and interrogations with local law enforcement, and we're continuing to do that because those closest to the suspect are going to hopefully know the most about the suspect and his beliefs and his ideology. On top of that, unfortunately, it has been leaked that there was a Discord chat, and for those unfamiliar with it, it's a gaming chat room online that the suspect participated in. So what we're doing, we've already done, is serve legal process, not just on Discord, so that the information we gathered is sustained and held in a evidentiary posture that we could use in prosecution should it be decided to do so. And we're also going to be investigating anyone and everyone involved in that Discord chat.
Okay, very good. I see the public reports that the Discord thread had as many as 20 additional users. It sounds like you're trying to run down all of that to see if that's accurate, who else may have been on that thread, what they may have known. Is that fair to say?
It's a lot more than that, and we're running them all down.
It's a lot more than 20?
Yes, sir.
And you're running all of that to ground.
Every single one.
Yeah, fantastic.
Wow.
There are a number of individuals that are currently being investigated and interrogated, and a number yet to be investigated and interrogated specific to that chat room. So we are very much in our ongoing posture of investigation.
So others could have been involved?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So there you have that. Okay, let's get cut 7 right away. Time is dwindling. This is Chuck Grassley, who is the chairman of the Judiciary Committee, and he's announcing that an FBI whistleblower has come forward about Project Arctic Frost.
Central American gangs like MS-13. Now, well, it's well understood that your predecessor left you an FBI infected with politics. I'm going to provide examples of that today, including making public new whistleblower records. At your nomination hearing, I made public records that whistleblowers provided me about Arctic Frost. Arctic Frost was the FBI case opened and approved by antitrust Trump FBI agent Thibault. Arctic Frost then became Jack Smith's elector case against then Citizen Trump and now President Trump. These new records show that Arctic Frost was much broader than just an electoral matter. The case was expanded to Republican organizations. Some examples of the group that Ray FBI sought to place under political investigation included the Republican National Committee, Republican Attorney General's Association, and various Trump political groups. In total, 92 Republican targets, including Republican groups and Republican-linked individuals, were placed under investigative scope of Arctic frost. On that political list was one of Charlie Kirk's group's Turning Point USA. In other words, Arctic frost wasn't just a case to politically investigate Trump. It was the vehicle.
I will take it from here, Carlos, in the interest of time. Let me just say this, folks. Today there are all kinds of stories. I want Princess Diana and I to discuss one. Princess Edsel is at us again. The Kirk crackdown is underway. I have others today. J.D. Vance vows retribution on liberal institutions. And then you have even more. Shapiro denouncing political violence, warns Trump is inflaming tensions by what? By pointing out leftists are doing this. Arctic frost. Over 90 Republican-associated groups investigated by the FBI. Over 90. Including the RNC. Including the Republican Governors Association. The Governors Association of Republicans. Including Turning Point USA. Under FBI investigation, 90 groups. And Donald Trump mentions, and J.D. Vance mentioned a few leftist groups that they're going to take a look at, and you think the sky is falling. Not a word in any of these publications about this operation where they're basically putting the entire Republican Party, those affiliated with, under FBI investigation. Why? Well, you know why. To see what they can dig out and use politically to help crush them. We're gonna spend more time with this, folks. James Golden, Snerdley, fastest hour in American media. We'll see what we have time for. There's some other stuff I'd love to get to today if we have time, including Arnold Schwarzenegger. Very interesting remarks. You know who also, I will tell you, I was a little surprised, but if you have not seen Jamie Lee Curtis speak about her reaction to Charlie Kirk, I'm telling you, it's wow. James Golden, Snerdley, fastest hour in American media continues. Don't go away.
The Rush Hour with James Golden on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Okay, we have to, I'm hoping, I've got to talk to Princess Di this week, I hope. Because the left, folks, they're having cows over their institutions, their money being called out. And the Democrats are trying to say, it's both, it goes both sides. It's both sides. No, this is not about the both sides argument anymore. Anyway, we got to go. Fastest hour in American media. May God bless and protect each and every single one of you, your families, your loved ones. Love and gratitude, my friends, for your being here with me. Allowing me to be with you. God willing, we will be back tomorrow at this time for the Wednesday edition of both Snerdley's Rush Hour and keep you up on whatever has happened and transpires between now and then. Until then, my friends, I bid you adieu. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. You can hear Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour weekdays at 4 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?